Do you wanna go? Go to a place. I wanna go. Go to a place. Do you wanna go? Go to a place. I wanna go. Go to a place. I can take you there. I can take you there. Do you wanna go? Go to a place. I can take you there. Say there. Do you wanna go? Go to a place. Search far and wide by your side. Good morning, everyone. Mic check, 1, 2. Can you hear us this morning? Can you hear me this morning? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me this morning. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear your Amy this morning. I'll wait. Okay, great. Welcome to Mosaic with TJ Randolph and Coffee and Conversations with TJ Randolph and Mr. Randolph this morning.
Good morning.
I got to give the announcement. Shout out to Lucky Marie for the outstanding intro. I love it. And to my firstborn nephew, Ryan Spunk Adams, whose song now is on the intro. Shout out to my hardworking trucker man and all the truckers out there traveling these highways and byways, bringing us our much needed goods and keeping that supply chain moving. Okay. This is an impromptu, and I say impromptu because my baby, he surprised me yesterday that he came home. So I said, would you do a live with me in the morning? And he said, yes. So here we are. Yeah, he's so excited. Can't you tell? Can't you tell? I wanted to have this conversation. I just wanted to kind of do a light. Before we do, let's see who we have in here. Let me go ahead and get some shouts out. Let's see who we have in here. I appreciate you coming through. My niecey Pooh, shout out. My niecey Pooh, Lucky Marie, her beau, I call him Mr. Randolph Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And that's significant. You know why that is?
No.
That's a hot. If I'm gonna dub him Mr. Randolph Jr., that means I see some qualities in him like in you. That's a high honor.
Yeah.
Can you hear my baby? Can y'all hear my baby? If I'm gonna dub him Mr. Randolph Jr., that means he's got some qualities. Okay, let's keep it 1,000 out. Okay, shout out to my nephew. Okay, beautiful day, beautiful covenant. Hey, TJ with Mosaic Randolph, love you, and salute to the great brother, Mr. Randolph. Appreciate you guys. You spoke to him on the phone. Remember you talked to him on the phone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good morning to you.
Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Shout out to Mr. Dunbar. I'm just going to start calling you Dunbar because I told you that was my grandfather's best friend, Dunbar. Shout out to my nephew coming all the way through from Germany, babe. What the funk is in Germany? A new subscriber. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming through. You're driving. Are you a truck driver too? Shout out to my Army vet up in here coming through. Appreciate you this morning. Listen, this is an opportunity. Hey, boss lady Iris, this is an opportunity for you to ask us some questions. And I'm gonna start by asking Mr. Why, if y'all think about y'all want to ask some questions, I'm gonna ask Mr. Randolph some questions. And if you can't, if because you know my baby's a soft-spoken man, but he's soft-spoken but carries a big stick. So if you have some questions, feel free to either put in the chat and I may drop the link. We're not going to be here long because we live our life outside of these YouTube streets. But I want to ask my husband, and we've talked about some of these things before, but for some of you who haven't chimed in or seen know about our story, when you were on the dating market, what were you looking for in a woman?
Integrity first. That's why I would take some time and read some of the things that you write. Uh, Integrity first. That's why I would take some time and read with some of the things that you write, and of course the age range, and good looks. That's about it.
Good looks?
Yeah, yeah. If I was attracted to it, yeah,
So that was important.
of course, yeah.
So, um, so you weren't looking for a woman that wore a lot of makeup and had like lashes and stuff?
Oh no, no. Well, yeah. I was looking, of course, for uh, a realness. I don't like the flashy type. I don't have anything against makeup as long as you got a lot because that tells me it's something that's trying to be hidden. And I think less is better. And so, yeah, I was that was easy to spot. So I lumped that in all with being attracted. So I don't have to. It don't take long. Let's see. Yeah, so that's what I was looking for.
So what and during the time that you were in the dating market, what are the things other than what you just the opposite of what you said? What are some other things that kind of immediately turned you off?
Uh, Overly aggressive. Um, uh, Clinginess. Um, Quick claiminess. I found that to be strange and interesting, especially for the 50 and up crowd. So, uh, you know, especially over aggressiveness. I know how to take charge and win, and I don't need you setting an agenda. I don't like a woman that's climbing all over me.
So when you said aggressiveness, exactly what does that mean? What did you mean?
Ready to get down real quick.
You mean sex?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah. My body don't work like that. It might have worked like that when I was 19 or 20, 21, 25. You know, I don't know you, honey.
Let's see. We got to cut. Okay, what the funk said? Yeah, less is better. Diddy says, "Would you date a woman? Would you date a woman who has a child by a man who, for some reason, is not seeing the child? I'm wondering if that is a red flag.
Oh no, no.
You wouldn't date a woman that had a child?
Oh no. I'm saying no. That wouldn't be a problem. So the answer would be yes, because I'm guessing if they in my age range, they would be teenager and almost grown.
So what the funk is in, many of my subscribers are younger. So like, our children's
Oh,
age,
oh yeah. Okay.
like,
Yeah.
late 20s, 30s.
Hmm.
So he is a father, I think, of two. So I think he's asking, from a 30 something year old man standpoint, if you were a 30 something year old man, would
No, no, no. That wouldn't be no. That wouldn't be a problem. I would. I would. Uh, children wouldn't be a problem. Uh, I'm more concerned with the woman, the person. So whatever she's bringing to the table, whatever she's coming with, you have to be willing to accept that if you are interested in her. So if I'm interested in her, I'm interested in everything else as long as it's, nothing, uh, as long as she has no outstanding warrants or anything like that. So, yeah.
well, and one of the reasons I think he's asking this question, because a lot of men in these spaces, particularly younger men in these spaces, are saying they won't date a baby mama. That's what they call them, baby mamas. Because why should they take care of somebody else's seed?
Well, I, uh, I think each of us have our own wants and prior and uh, set of standards or whatever we want. I think that's every right. Uh, you know, I also had a weight limit. So, but yeah, just if you do decide not to, or you don't want to, don't waste that woman's time. Just because she's fine. Yeah, don't waste her time. So yeah.
Okay, so here, let's we got. Okay, okay, what we got here? He says after doing the Humpty Hump, what's a good he said after doing the Humpty Hump, what's a good quality that will make a good mother for your children?
Oh, uh,
Like if you were a single dad.
well, a woman that you can tell if a woman that cares for you and loves you is going to love your children. Uh, Now, a good telltale sign is if she's going to be different with your kids. She really don't. She's really not into you. Um, my wife, she was very uh, loving and accepting to her new uh, kids, even though they were adults and grandkids, and that was very. I mean, some things she didn't have to do. It was very uh, important, and so yeah, you'll know.
Can I give example? I remember our first Christmas when I think we hadn't gotten married yet, but it was our first Christmas, and I called our daughter to find out what she wanted for the kids for Christmas, and he's, oh well, I was just gonna give money. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah,
I said no. So I called her and I said, what do you want for the kids for Christmas? Remember that?
yeah, yeah. I don't do any shopping. Yeah, so yeah, she's gifted in that area. So yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we got. Good morning, Red Lipstick Vibe. Okay, so let's see what we got here. You're 27, childless. Okay. And that's a good age to be childless. What you say if you're childless? Now, I believe I'm looking at a young lady in here, I believe. And I had my daughter at 27. But again, I did mine out of order. I ultimately later married her father, but I did it out of order. So you want to marry first, but you want to make sure that the person is good for you. Like Pat, like Army Vet said, once you get past the Humpty Hump, what is the character of that person? Okay, one the funk said correct. I'm dating a woman with kids, but when I see a woman and her ex not co-parenting, it makes him worry.
Well, you can't control what the I'm guessing man is not contributing. You can't control that. Just roll with it, and if you're serious about that woman, you'll be able to move in that space for those kids.
Mr. Dunbar is saying, Mr. Randolph, you give us some hope. And see, Mr. Dunbar is, I think he's in our age group.
Hmm.
And he was stating, I think if my memory serves me correct, that, he's having a hard time finding a quality woman because either they are, into alternative lifestyles, or many of them are like some of the things you described. And so I told him that there are some good women out there. You have to vet. And again, it's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy, because the older we get, the more baggage we come with. But character is key. What are your thoughts on that, baby?
Yeah, and you won't really know that. You can't really know that unless spend a little bit of time. Uh, but it'll come out quickly. Um, I think some are very good at hiding who they are, but I think one of the problems that could be, uh, a lot of women have been without for a long time, and they see someone who they might be physically attracted to, and they may not be able to, do things they would normally do, which is uh, maintaining some sense of control. So, um, but yeah, so yeah, just take some time and get to know them, and because if they're attracted to you, you'll know really quick. So uh, it's like my wife said, they're out there. It just it's going to take some time. Because they're out there. And I found one. Actually, it actually landed in my lap. So uh, you just have to be patient.
And ladies, I'm telling you, like, listen, young, old, and in between, please don't leave with your education, career, and stuff. Because I almost missed out on, because I did just that. Because again, when they're reading a profile, they don't know. They only, it's kind of like a resume. It is a resume. You putting out there what you think is an asset to the company, if you will, but you don't know how that person is receiving the qualifications, because it may not be what they're looking for, and you think that you're offering what they're looking for, but it may not be. Now, what the funk is saying, I have no problem dating a woman with kids, but when I see maybe the lady is not letting a man see his kids, I wonder.
Yeah, that would make me wonder too. Um, that's a problem. That's a problem.
And unless she can substantiate.
It could be for good reasons, and
Okay, okay.
it may not be for good reasons. But she may have some good reasons for that, but then again, she may not. If she don't have any good reasons, that's a problem, and you're going to be even more of a problem if she don't have a good reason, because that guy is going to think you're the reason.
Ooh, that's I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. And here's another thing: if she's not willing to tell you the reason, and you sniff bull crap in the reason she's telling you, dig deeper. And if you dig deeper and she gets defensive, I don't want to talk about it, well, then that's a sign for you also. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link real quick because we're not gonna be here very long. But I want to take advantage of my baby being here, and I said, give you all an opportunity to speak with us because he's not, he don't come on live often. That's why I was like, oh, he gonna do it with me today. Let's see what else. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Jenny. Let's see. Facts. I swear sometimes ladies love kids before. Yeah, and I think I don't offer it as I don't offer it as an excuse, but I definitely offer it as a reason. And maybe you let me know if you think differently. A lot of times when relationships don't work out, we cling to our children because we feel that that's all we have, and we hover and hold them close because a part of it is that we feel even because we couldn't control the relationship, we can control them. We can control them, you know? And especially like my honey said, if we have been by ourselves for a long period of time, even if we do have children, we don't know how to let go of that. Here's what the funk. Come on through, nephew. This is the gentleman that was asking the questions. Hey, nephew.
Hey, how you doing? Just getting the phone set, like Kevin, getting the phone steady. Okay, let me make this quick because I know y'all got things to do. By the way, I'm from Langston, Oklahoma, but here I am in Germany. So the situation kind of is the man's not giving the amount of money that she wants him to give, but it's different here in Germany because he doesn't really have to. It's a 50-50 supposed to be custody. So the excuse that she gave was just like, he doesn't give me money. Every time they come around, they start arguing. And I've seen them have an argument once, and it was clearly kind of her side. Like it was her being petty. And I was even kind of like, just let him get it. So I'm just trying to see if maybe that's a red flag because that's their relationship. And I get it. Everyone has their shit to get through after a breakup. But I'm also wondering at the same time if I should even be dealing with her if she can't co-parent. I think that's a very simple thing, I think, to want to do for your children, if that makes sense.
Well, since you put it that way and explained it that way, I do think it's a red flag. I do think it's a red flag because I don't believe in fussing and fighting and arguing. And if that's the way things are set up over there, I don't see what the argument is about. And if that's her reasoning for the co-parenting situation, yeah, I think that is a red flag.
Okay. And one more question. If she doesn't have her own children under control.
I think what she really wants, I think she hadn't gotten him out of her system. I know that's a long way, but I don't think she got him out of her system because if she's still arguing.
Yeah, when a woman
the real
argues,
argument is
it's still there.
Him.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like my ex would try to I'm like, I don't love you anymore. I'll argue with you. Like I don't care.
Right.
Like whatever. And I saw them having their art, and I mean, it was like steam. So I mean, thin line between love and hate.
Yeah.
Like so I'm like, y'all hate each other with a lot of passion,
Yeah.
So
it's just not money. That's just not player. No.
He said not play. and here's the thing. I will say from a woman's perspective, I get it. Early on when my daughter's father and I were having our issues and we would go back and forth, part of it was I felt slighted. Part of it, I had some residual feelings. But the truth of the matter is, even say, for instance, that wasn't the issue. They weren't arguing and she was, upset about money. It has to come to a point, and listen, ladies out there, it has to come to a point that you love your children more than you despise the other parent. I've said once, and I've said it again. From the time when I got pregnant with my daughter, back 29 years ago. Her father and I went into an agreement. He paid me $300 a month while I was pregnant with her.
Mm-hmm.
When I gave birth to her, he went up to $500. Okay, so the whole time that our daughter was alive, I mean,
Wait,
a
hold on.
minor.
He was getting 500 back in the 90s? Wait,
No, he was
500
giving.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
sitting pretty. You shouldn't have. I hope you never gave him a headache.
I never did. And
500 in
again,
the 90s?
but my point being, even through up until 18, I never went to court to increase it, ever.
Right. No. Mhm.
And the truth of the matter is, because for one, I worked. You understand me? And when she went to visit him, he took care of everything. But the point of the matter is, I didn't care so much about the money. I care about the time. So again, if she's complaining about money, that's the issue, because the money comes and goes, but the time is what you can't get back. And that should be the emphasis in my point. Even if she don't like him, if she can't stand his monkey ass, whatever. But if he is investing whatever and he wants to spend time with his children, that's what you can't get back. You can't put a price on that. Your thoughts, babe?
That's what my uncle told me. He said any woman that uses the children's time with the father as a way to punish the man, that's a huge red flag. So that's kind of what I was thinking too. Because that's a strange way to punish a man at your children. Like if you get mad at him for doing something, well, you can't see your kids. Like that seems very.
And it's punishing the children too.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's not just punishing him. It's punishing.
But she fine though.
I'll let Mr. Randolph answer that.
He's fine though.
I understand, man. You under 30.
No. I'm 40. I'm 40.
Well,
so,
I understand. Yeah. But
yeah.
all of that stuff will change when you turn 41.
Okay. Well, see, sir, I don't know. I've been eating sea moss and eating turmeric, drinking turmeric tea. So yeah, I'm.
Well, you look good for age. But back to my wife was saying, children would do that with their grandchildren too, to punish their mothers and fathers. If they don't do what they want them to do. Okay. You're not going to see the grandkids because you're not, because you're not doing what I want you to do. So it happens, man. It's called, I guess you can call it children blackmail, grandchildren blackmail also. Yeah.
No, that's actually one of the things that I think with our community that I think that's the middle ground to helping. I think Black women understand some of the problems that Black men are having with the child support cases. Is that I think if enough Black women start to realize like they can't see their own grandkids, then I think that will spur something. So I think it's going to be one more generation before I think Black women have seen like, wait a minute, my son had a kid and all of a sudden I can't see my grandkids. Then I think hopefully that will change the pendulum. But until then, yeah, it's tough for you guys in America.
Well, a lot of stuff doesn't change until it affects you.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not a big deal until it affects you. You understand me? Mm-hmm. Something else. Since you can hang out with us for a minute if you like, baby. In these conversations,
wait, you missed my first question though. What's the best high school in Oklahoma City?
Millwood.
What I asked him. What does he say?
He's not from Oklahoma.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not from there.
You just Douglas, Star Spencer, or Millwood?
Now or then?
Now.
Okay. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
Okay. We all know back then it was Millwood.
You better know that.
I know. Okay. Go ahead.
We would kick. It was Millwood. Back then it was Millwood, Douglas, John Marshall.
Ah, yeah. I forgot about John Marshall and Beggs. Beggs was always.
What's Beggs?
In football, Beggs was always killing. That was the rich white school, wasn't it? Yeah.
Was that? No, I don't know.
I think it's closed now, but I remember back in the day, Beggs would be like.
I don't remember that one. That one. Anywho, let's see what we got here. Yeah, please like the stream. Let's see. People need to wait on God for their spouses. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you.
So did you? So you waited on God for me?
Well, what I did do, I didn't. Um, I did not go the other directions. I didn't go to the other directions I could have went in. Uh, so I think I was using wisdom in that particular time. But I think uh, God sent you to me because you definitely was the right woman for me. And so in
Adorable.
in that aspect, yeah, yeah.
It's okay. I'll read this question. I want to talk. Okay, she said, "I follow Kay's track. I like that. Follow Kay's track. Um, it says,
You
I
want me to
know a
read that
God.
for you, TJ? I know you can't see. You want me to go ahead? I got
See,
it.
see, that's what you call shade. Go
I'm
ahead,
just,
go ahead, go ahead,
got,
nephew.
I got you.
I'm gonna put you to work. Go ahead.
Okay. No, it's like when it's like one of them things when you're a kid and you can't read. I know. No, it's okay. I got you. I know a guy going through this with his kid's mother. Great guy, but I fear a relationship with him because of how vindictive she is. She's the type to make his life even harder when he has found a new woman. See, you hear my white voice? I know.
What do you say to that, babe? I agree.
Well, yeah, that's it goes on every day. Um, I think it goes on, especially here in the United States. If a woman has a problem with the man and use a kid as a bargaining chip. Yeah.
But that,
And I,
but that man needs to be he. Like I get it though, but because she said she's wondering if she should get in a relationship with him, and that man maybe needs her. Like I think when men are going through that, sometimes the right woman coming around to help him through like saves him in a lot of ways. And I know a lot of women maybe don't want to help a man going through that or who's going through that with a vindictive baby mother, but you might be saving his life. That's all I want to say.
well, I understand that, but I have a question though.
Hmm.
Why is it okay if the woman saves his life to do? Because I don't have a problem with that,
Hmm.
but a man in these spaces has a problem doing the same.
Well, simply because there's no benefits as far as, and I mean, it happened to my family. I know a lot of people who have put in time, effort, money in playing the stepdaddy role, and not even married, but just playing the role. And
Mhm.
it hurts a lot of men. I don't think a lot of men speak about it, but I think in
But
our
wouldn't it? But
community,
wouldn't it?
especially,
But wouldn't it hurt a woman too who tries to save her man's life? You don't think it's the same? What do you
not to
think,
the
babe?
same extent, no, because when men get involved with a woman with children, the man pours into the children. But when a woman gets involved with a man going through a baby mama drama situation, it's not the same, especially after the breakup.
I can see that because more often than not, the woman has the kids,
Hmm.
whereas generally the men don't have the kids. Okay, I
Right.
can see that. I can see that. What are your thoughts on that, babe?
My thoughts is on both situations. Uh, I think you have to be mentally prepared uh, to be all in. Um, and if you know you're not, don't waste a bunch of time uh, trying to make these decisions. Do I want to continue on? Do I don't want to? Um, uh, it's a sticky situation because I know you said you're very attracted to this woman. So you got to weigh things. You got to
True.
weigh things.
Yeah.
I know that's not the only characteristics that you like about them, but you have to make a decision whether you want to be all in, and
Yeah.
maybe this little drama
I've never
might.
had her temper for me, but to see her temper towards her ex, that's what's kind of giving me
Yeah,
pause now.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
nephew,
even
read
though it's
this
not,
one.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Read
got
this
you.
one.
I wouldn't want to be the reason why his child support increases. He gets less time with his children, etc., because she's being spiteful with the new relationship. We've remained friends because of this. Wait, okay, wait. We remain friends because like are friends and you still healing them, or like friends, and
So-
he don't get,
So I'm thinking.
he don't get
I'm-
no healing.
See, there you go. Stop that. So I'm thinking that from what I'm reading, well, what you read is that she would like to be in a relationship with this person, but because of the drama, kind of like what you're seeing on the opposite end, she's reluctant to do that.
And she doesn't want to be the domino that starts a whole lot of bad things that maybe happen in his life between him and her.
Yeah, well, she in my opinion, she wouldn't be the cause, but that she would be made to be the cause.
Yes. Everybody wants a villain, and she would be the villain in that story.
And what I would submit to you, follow Kay's track, I would, well, it doesn't sound like she's reasonable because again, in my particular instance, I like to, when I've dated a man that has children, I've made it a purpose to meet the mother because again, I think it's important for them to know who their children are around. I think it's important. And what it signifies to me, though, is if the woman did not want to meet me,
And there's still issues.
did not want to get to know me, especially considering the fact that she knows nothing about me other than I am dating her ex, then again, that was a red flag. So again, Kay, if that is something that you would, be think she might be amenable to, because again, to let her, because one of the things I will say, when I was my daughter's father and I were not together anymore, and he had a girlfriend, Lydia, I absolutely loved her. I loved her because she loved my daughter. I invited her to Danielle. I loved her, but I couldn't stand him, but loved her. Okay, so and that's the point, because I knew she loved my daughter.
Yeah, I think back in the 90s, I think stepmothers, stepdaughters, stepmother, stepfathers, not even steps. I think men who were dating, I think there's a different level of respect back then. And I think that I think those people were off limits, if that makes sense. I didn't really see a lot of baby mama, baby drama daddy, like when the stepdad or the guy talking, like I think people were a lot more understanding about the children. You like the village mentality. It was still a thing back in the 80s and the 90s. And I think since it's all changed where nobody can do anything with my kids but me, that's where I think the whole can't nobody say nothing to my son or my daughter just because he's dead. I think all of that has made nothing but drama between us. I do want to say one more thing before you guys go. Do you think in our community that we would be better off either focusing on like getting married before we have any children, right? Or being realistic and saying, okay, people are going to have sex before getting married anyway. What we need to do is start teaching children at an early age about co-parenting, about de-escalation. And I think in the Black community, we might be better off teaching at a young age that, hey, whoever you make a baby with, this is how you're going to this is how you're going to parent. And I think if we did that in our community, it would be a lot more positive than us maybe saying, well, focus on getting married and don't have children until you're married. I think if as a community, if we just focused on co-parenting at an early age and made it the norm, that would be way more beneficial for the Black community than saying everyone needs to be married before they have a kid. Because that's where the drama is, I think, is the after the breakups.
Well, I'm gonna have to disagree. I believe in absolute truth, and so since I believe in absolute truth, and where that truth comes from says getting married first.
But do you think do you think marriage is going to increase in the future or not?
It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. That's my worldview. If I go with the world's worldview, it may probably will. It could be very well it happens the way you happen. It could very well go that way. But the way to do it, and I would tell anybody, young person, man and a woman, to get married first. I think that's why we wind up in the state we're in now. Once we go against absolute truth, I think we should stay with absolute truth no matter what.
You mean not my truth, but the truth.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Would you recommend them getting married on paper in the American system still? Because it's different by state, right? Like whichever state you get married in, or whichever state you have children in, is going to vary about what happens if a breakup happens, and that in itself seems like it's idiotic. Whereas in other countries they don't do it that way. Would you recommend even getting married on paper in USA, on USA government paper?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Because
that puts something in your there's value in marriage, but I would say maybe get married in Missouri or look up the states where you have the most father rights and get married there versus getting married maybe in California, or maybe getting married in California. It's ridiculous after a divorce. It really is. But in certain states after divorce, it's actually almost fair.
Yeah, well, first off, one of the reasons why I think it is on paper for as the different states is concerned is to protect the woman, and then if there are any children involved after, to protect the children. It becomes a legal binding contract as far as the state concerned, but as far as God's concerned, he takes that seriously. Marriage, because he's the creator of marriage in the family. So once we start doing things outside of that, i.e., having kids first and wanting to teach them, our program instead of his program, we're going to continue to have the problems we have now. So that's
I always say, well, let's do a Native American wedding.
What's that?
The same thing they do on the reservation, where you get married, but you're not on paper.
Oh,
well,
because they don't.
I don't care how it's done, as long as as long as
it's binding and actually a real union. Yes.
Yeah.
What they do in I remember what they did in Chickasaw. My cousin who's Native. They got married, but what they do is they pretty much bring both sides of the family, and like it's a meeting of the family. Like your family is this family. Like once the marriage happens, there really is no breaking up. And anytime there's an actual issue, if for some reason me and TJ were married and I'm thinking it's not working out, I'm bringing my family, and she's bringing her family, and we're having a whole village meeting to figure it out, because the bigger picture that is more important is the nest. And that's the main reason why I've always admired kind of the reservation mentality with marriage. It's not about me and the woman anymore. It's about the nest that we're building. Whereas I feel in our community, we don't see it that way. Once the breakup happens, it's about the woman, this, or the man saying, I don't come over to see the kid unless I'm having sex. Like we don't co-parent after breakups well as a community. I think that's where we got to work on.
I agree. Let me read a few comments here. It says here, I feel that Black men must have Jesus in their lives that would solve a lot of the problems. What do everybody in the chat think? I'll let Mr. Randolph start that. What do you think?
I can't disagree with it. He's 100% correct. Not only Black men, Black women, everybody. But in particular, what he said, if we're not being led by him, there's going to be all type of problems, because our women want to be led and need to be led, and if we don't know how to lead, that's going to create problems. So he's right.
Well, and to that point, this is another point. A lot of men in these spaces, and I say that because they talk about women don't want to submit and they don't want to be led, this, that, and the other. I don't disagree with that. But one thing that I notice is that many men talk about submission, but they themselves are not submitting to the authority of God. Because when we consider the whole idea of submission, that was created in the Word. So if you don't consider yourself a Christian, you don't consider yourself a follower of Christ, if you don't believe in God and you don't do all those things, what are you talking about submission? Because submission comes from God, in a sense of falling under the authority of God. And if you are not falling under the authority of God, but you expect a woman to fall under the authority of you, because that's where it came from. If we agree that God created man, then woman.
But what about natives? Like, the Native American women are very submissive, but they're not Christian. There's a lot of.
But they may not Christian, but they believe in God. They believe in a higher.
Okay.
They believe in God.
Yes.
That's what the creator of life, and they fall under you fall under the authority of the higher power.
I think that could be. I'm sure that's probably their tradition, and it's probably like some Asian women. They're probably made to submit. And so that's been their tradition. I could be wrong, but I think what Terry is saying is, if a woman,
great idea, Jedi.
If a woman is seeing that a man or her man is submitting, coming under the authority of God, to be more specific, Jesus, she's going to willingly want to submit to him, because she know he's being led, so she want to follow him. So that's not me cracking her over the head saying, threatening her to come under some submission.
I'm telling Jesus on you.
She's doing it willingly.
Right.
Like some cultures may not be doing it willingly. They're doing it out of some type of tradition or fear.
Okay.
And to that point, baby, you and I never had a conversation about me submitting to you. No. Never did. To your point, I just fell under leadership. And nephew Jedi Mike said, I'm looking into premarital counseling. That is absolute must, because we did premarital counseling and we were in our 50s.
But would you say do it outside of the church? I think sometimes I've known people who've gotten premarital counseling where it's like maybe the woman goes to that church, or maybe the gentleman goes. I think it's always better to do it outside of the church where they already know you.
Well, and that's fine, because we did.
Okay.
Our premarital counselor, he is a pastor, but he wasn't either one of our pastors.
Okay, right.
Okay. What do you say about that, babe?
I don't have a problem with it.
You think? I think.
So long.
What's up, Bolo?
Yeah. So long as he's ever doing the counseling, is going to be doing it for me. A biblical worldview.
Okay. Hey, Bolo. Nephew,
hey, Auntie, what's going on? How you doing, Mr. Randolph?
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't got too much to say, man. I just wanted to say, because I don't think I've ever gotten to speak to you, Mr. Randolph, but I just wanted to thank you for allowing your wife to show understanding to these young women and to these men that, what a good woman would look like and what a good husband looks like. So I just wanted to thank you for allowing us to see a glimpse into your home, because I know sometimes, it's hard, to be that light in this dark, exceedingly getting darker world. So I just wanted to thank you and your wife, and, more love to you and more praises to you guys. And thank you for allowing people to see what a Christ-centered relationship looks like.
Yeah, man. I'm glad we are, and she is in a position to do it. Everything lines up.
As the Black Native American, I know you're not out there with air freshener killing the ozone, are you? That will make me cry.
Nah, that ain't me. That's not on my end, brother. I'm in my office, brother.
Quiet. Go ahead, Mr. Randolph.
Killing the ozone layer.
You were saying that
You were saying, Mr. Randolph?
Well, I was saying that happy to be, and we are glad to be in a position, in particular, Terry, to do it. And uh, I think when you have an opportunity, I told her, when you have an opportunity to do something positive, don't waste any time. Do it. And I told her long before, I told her this long before she retired, before she set up this podcast, so not to waste time when you want to do something positive. Uh,
You know, the awesome thing about what you guys are doing, and people are seeing it in real time is, again, you know, um, when you have Christ-like leadership and, you talk about being the provider, the leader, um, protector, and if need be, sacrifice your life. The only answer to that type of leadership is submission. So you as a husband that falls under the submission of Christ, you don't have to have that conversation with your woman, because automatically her being a child of Christ, she already understands the connection. And I think that when men get to see it, we don't have enough examples of men, being that example online. We have a lot of men complaining, and it's kind of like a circular conversation because they don't see that example. So I just wanted to give you guys your flowers. I wanted to say thank you for allowing us to see it.
mhm.
And I pray for you guys and all love to you.
Thank you. Yeah,
No doubt.
I always say it's no better time like the present, and forget about yesterday. Let's get moving with today. So thank you, and bless you too, man.
Officially you my uncle now.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
wanted to make that official. So now
Well,
that we got that done.
yeah. Well, we you know we are brothers and we're family. So uh, just by listening to what you're saying, what you believe, so yeah, we're family. So I don't have a problem with that. Uncle,
Definitely. So you
whatever,
guys,
whatever part of the um, you want to be cousin, brother, uncle, Madison, family. Yeah.
well, I mean, being that your wife is auntie, I think it's only
Oh
fit
yeah,
that you become uncle.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
The dynamics would be crazy if you was cousin and she's auntie. We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, don't go
So
nowhere, Bolo. Don't go nowhere, Bolo. Real quick, and I want you to stay here because again, me and my husband were talking about this the other day. In these spaces, there are a lot of. Remember, I told you about a year ago, shortly after I started the program, there was this argument about uh alpha male versus beta male, and alpha men do this, and you said I don't know what all that means.
I
Alpha
don't,
versus beta. Well, I'm asking Mr. Randolph first. What you remember what you said about that, the alpha versus the beta and all that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, that's never been a discussion or any debate, as far as I'm concerned, because I've always, well, I ain't gonna say always, but I've known for quite a long time who I am, and based on that, how to act accordingly. So I don't need, never. I don't think I've never needed anyone to define me because I know who I am in Christ. So you will act accordingly. So beta, alpha, delta, whatever.
You-
so
what, Unc? I think that's important, man, because I think what happens is, in this journey that we're in, cats don't understand that you have to be universally taught. They fixated on beta, 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 and what they don't understand is, as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a brother, as a son. They don't understand that there are going to be times when you have to be hard and there are going to be times when you have to be soft. They don't understand that a man is tenacious and malleable to the situation that they are currently in. They just think that men are supposed to run through walls and that's the answer for everything. So if my woman is crying, I'm supposed to run through a wall or, be strong and all these things, when they don't understand that I'm supposed to match her energy to get her to where she needs to be. What these men are not understanding, what you guys exude, is the first thing is you guys have to be faithful in Christ, which breeds you having a relationship with your woman where she can trust you. And that trust is so strong because I may not be able to solve your situation, but you trust me enough to go through it with you. And I think that's very, very important. Now, I want to give you guys your flowers because, again, we have so many examples of demonic worship, bad relationships, arguments, circular conversations that get nowhere. And for you guys to open up your doors, to open up your life, and be exposed to the YouTube streets where people, are very vitriolic, that comes with a strength, that comes with a understanding that you are the light, and the Lord tells you, don't put your light under a bush, show it to the world. So again, man, I want to give you my love and thank you guys for being who you are and being strong enough to continue to stand strong in Christ. So auntie and uncle, I know there's other people that want to come up, guys. Thank you so much. And you guys have a blessed day.
Thank you, you too. Nephew Jedi Mike in the house. Real quick, let me read a couple of not super chats, but comments. Please like the video. Shout out to Nisi Pooh. She says he's definitely my uncle. Now this is the my niece I was telling you about, who her beau is. I've dubbed Mr. Randolph Jr. So that's her beau is Mr. Randolph Jr. So let's see here. M. Mills has said exactly, Mr. Randolph. I've never heard men call themselves this in real life. As far as alpha, beta, no, exactly. Army Vet says they are not husbands or fathers. Let's see what we got here. Army Vet says real men can tell a husband and a father. Absolutely. Okay. These YouTube streets are about some to be okay. I don't know. I'm not reading right. Forget me. So Jedi Mike, nephew, what's up?
How you guys doing?
Morning. Good.
Morning.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I just saying I loved the conversation you guys have, and because I know, again, talking about godly relationships, though, is not really something that's not, it might be saying it's being spoke about in these spaces, but not taken seriously. We always keep saying that, there's always wolf in sheep's clothing, and there's a lot of these content creators, like the profit off of it just for, knowing the things they're saying, they're not doing that in their own household. And I made sure, with my woman, that especially when we're seeing this YouTube spaces, that we try to keep enforcing boundaries of terms listen, some of this is hypocrisy. You have to identify, and that's what you have to increase, not letting these ideologies kind of cloud your judgment. And because when talk about submission, I never asked my woman for submission. I put in the comments that I told her that you submit the Christ within me, and I'm not submitting my full authority to Christ and I have nothing to stand on, i.e. the foundation, right? Because the thing about building a home, the house that's built on sand, it will never stand, right? And what happened is that when we have these type of ideologies for the sake of ego, sake of putting a facade up there, just for the sake of people thinking, look, he's alpha, he's look at him, oh my God, right? But then what happening is that the house is, because the foundation is sand, it's going to crumble eventually, right, when a storm comes through. And that's why most marriages and relationships don't last long, because with the fairy tale of saying that we don't endure through storms and hardships and stuff doesn't make it easy. Everybody want weddings, we don't want marriages, right? But even then, our marriage should be a ministry, metaphor, and the reason why I said my woman, why I chose her, because she's a walking ministry. Every time how much she advocates, for the Lord and Holy Spirit and everything like that, and then again, what her influence adds on me in terms of in moments where, as a man, we just might deal with this life in terms of what the worldly, wisdom we might get from people. But I also believe that, such wisdom can be earthly, unspiritual, or demonic, right? So you have to understand that there's people that might want to say and give you type of advice or counsel, but obviously if the foundation is not Christ, in my personal opinion, it's not going to stand for me.
Let me look real quick. This young man just turned 24.
Mm-hmm.
This young man just turned 24. And he is so insightful. Is it the young lady that I met the other night?
Listen, I can't.
Okay, never
I
mind.
plead the fifth.
Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Right.
fifth. But whatever. I like I said, keep it offline, keep your auntie, But like I said, you have a really good point. Seek marital counseling, premarital counseling, because like I said, we were in our 50s. This is my second marriage. And I didn't do premarital counseling first, but I still remember what our counselor said to me, what a man needs. I remember it in the order: respect, loyalty, intimacy.
Let's see. Right.
Have I forgotten any of that, babe?
Say it again.
Have I forgotten any of that?
No, ma'am.
Yeah. I would, and I wouldn't
Wait
say.
a minute. Go ahead, babe. Go ahead.
Sorry. You got to say, Mr. Randolph?
No, go ahead. I was just going to say that loyalty, I think for men is at the top. It's A1 at the top of the list. But go ahead, man.
Yeah. I will say, Auntie, I'll just say that your discernment and everything like that is not broken. I'll just say that in terms of your last question. I'm like, yeah.
Gotcha.
But in terms of I am like engagement is literally right around the corner. Right now I'm about to graduate in like in a month and a half and stuff, and I just actually got a full-time position job now, and I'm starting before I graduate. And like out of college though, like what was same terms of what I'm making, that's nothing but God. Because beginning before our relationship, I had nothing. I was like in between jobs. She was making more money than me and all this stuff, which there's another disposal about myth and stuff. Again, just like in 2 or 3 months time, because again, I just know what I want for myself and our relationship and stuff like that. It just, again, God just, was able to bless me in terms of this job I'm going to have starting out of college. Again, now we're planning on having, combined incomes and everything once we're married. But again, I just believe in terms of obedience and everything. That just, again, that leads to a lot of blessings that, again, that we know we already have given, that we know what is going to be given to us. For example, like, everyone's saying, I'm just praying for my man, I'm praying for my woman, all this stuff, right? Okay, the prayer's been answered. It's like, I think people are like, not saying make a mistake of constantly praying for the same thing. Like, God knows your hearts and desires, but the thing is, he also knows when you're not prepared to or equipped to handle it. So again, sometimes he might test you, might give it to you prematurely and say, listen, now you knew what you asked for, now are you, in terms of the man or the woman, that actually now able to cultivate the blessing that I had in store for you? Or now you gotta wait a little bit longer and be disciplined and follow my word. Again, it's just like I keep saying, like, these violent delights can have violent ends, Well,
let me go ahead and offer you this too.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good. And here's where the loyalty comes in, baby. Correct me if I'm wrong. You talked about, when y'all got together, and again, a couple of things. You were doing the right thing by protecting her. Because even though I'm in these YouTube streets, Mr. Randolph is very adamant about protecting me. If he sees stuff getting too, because he knows me, he knows I care. If he sees me getting too stressed or whatever, he asks me, he said, now this is still a hobby, right? Or he'll ask me, he says, he'll grow me. Like basically, okay, if I have to step in, it's a shutter downer. So, but that's protecting me even from myself. But let's go back to the loyalty thing. Yes, you said when you all start dating, she was making more than you and blah, blah, blah. But the loyalty is, say, for instance, because there may be a time when you all are together and say, for instance, something happens unexpectedly, your company shuts down. We go through another pandemic. It may obliterate your job, but she still has hers. The loyalty comes in when she's like, babe, we're going to work through this together. I got it until you get another thing. That's where the loyalty comes to continue to lift you up, to continue to support you. Babe, tell about, they've heard it from me, but tell about the situation. Remember with Celadon and how that made you feel.
Yeah, I worked for a company for just about 2 decades, and they went bankrupt and pretty much shut everything down. And I always thought this company was so big they couldn't possibly screw it up. You heard the term "too big to fail." Well, they failed, and they were big. So, after being somewhere for a long time, you kind of not just become a job, become this way of life. Of kind of, and a lot of people. It's almost like a family.
Right.
So it wasn't so much monetary with me. I just my plan was to retire with that company, but it didn't happen that way. So uh, this woman right next to me was there to encourage me and to tell me things that was beneficial at the time, because she could tell that I was disoriented. I was all kind of ways
Right.
in a twilight zone, pretty much, but not out of my mind, because I know I could get a job, in that particular field. But she was there to support me and to and like she said, was very, very loyal and uh, not feeling that I had to do something real quick. Uh, Matter of fact, it worked out fine because she was about to have surgery, and I needed to be home anyway. So while
Mm.
I was without a job, I was there for her to help her get back um,
Wow.
on our feet from her surgery. So it worked out perfectly. Looking back at it, so even though it didn't feel that way at first, but it worked out as planned, and she was a part of it. She was a part of that plan.
Mm.
So yeah, man, loyalty is very, very important, and like I said, is at the top of the list along with the other two. So yeah.
No, but like right there, like this what I'm saying. This is beautiful. Is that I'm watching just how Auntie teaches like her mannerisms with you. Like even you're telling your story, she was comforting you. Like even talking about as a woman, you're cultivating the heart of a man. Even that also not means in terms of like she's sitting next to you, she's like they're comforting you, and she's not provoking. Like, oh, okay, well you gotta make that money anyway, or anything. Like no, like is it again? I think this in our culture we lost this way of like again of of giving grace into people in our relationships, and also knowing that when we have set plans and expectations, and sometimes they can be our downfall, because like you never expect that company to go bankruptcy, but then look at I said look at God in terms of like also the moment of time in your relationship where you needed to be there. Again, I just think is that it's just all about life is about sacrifices, choices and trade-offs, right? And knowing that it's a choice to be holding a grudge, being bitter, all this stuff is a choice to let things go and not let things go. So I just think like what I'm just seeing here right now, I mean, it's just a blessing. I would say Auntie TJ, one of the real. I need to give you her contact and stuff because she like I'm telling you, you would love to have a conversation with her.
I would.
Mm.
Please do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down because we're gonna wrap it up shortly.
Yeah.
But thank you, sweetheart.
All right, peace, love y'all.
Love you too. Bye bye. Okay, so read a couple of comments. Von Bryant says the fact that my wife and I put God first in our relationship is the reason why we have had success and longevity in our marriage. 21 years with no regrets. Don't know what I'd do without her. Emil says here. Go here. It says that's how I was when Lincoln National Life. So, okay, I think that's something else. I'm not really sure. Okay. Okay. Whatever he feels, I wish we He said, whatever he feels, I wish we could bottle it up and say to women, this is what we want. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Appreciate it. In these spaces, you will not hear Jesus Christ in these panels. You'll hear it overheard. Now listen, and y'all done heard me say some stuff I done cursed because I get passionate. But but I am a follower of Christ. And again, I strive daily to be better, but we fall down, but I get up. Auntie TJ fixes this man, your husband, some baked beans and cornbread. You know what time it is. They know that you like beans and cornbread.
That's right. I'm very simple, man. I don't need all that fancy stuff.
Now, the last thing I will say, recently, my husband goes out on the road.
As a matter of fact, I'm getting hungry right now.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Okay, that's my cue. Recently, my husband said to me, I forget the context of the conversation, but he says that, because he's out, our job as women is to make our homes with our men a safe place for them to relax, because when they go out into the world, they fight, and not necessarily a physical fight, but they could be in the job fighting the man or fighting the road, because my baby's on the road and all the crazy stuff that goes on the road. And he complimented me and said that, even though he may not share everything that's going on when he's out on the road, and I may not know that he's stressed, but when he hears my voice, you tell him the rest, babe.
When I hear my wife's voice on that phone, whatever transpired before that just goes completely away. Basically, that's it. Yeah, in a nutshell.
So when you call me, I'm not cussing and fussing and why this and why that? I'm not doing that?
No. No, you're not. And I'm glad that you're not.
Do you think I'm masculine?
That's crazy. No, no, because we wouldn't be here right now. Why'd you ask that?
Because some people have said, because I get really passionate and demonstrative in some of my things, and I've read some of the comments and say, TJ seemed like she's masculine. She shouldn't be. She's not a good example for these young ladies.
Oh. I don't think a strong personality makes one masculine or just on that. No, I was going by. I was thinking of your look in particular. I wasn't thinking about things. I don't know what you'd be saying to these people.
Well, I have said to them, if I was masculine and aggressive, I wouldn't be married. Definitely not to you, because you wasn't going for it. Okay, so that's it. My baby's hungry. I've got my cue. It's time to wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us. It's time for me to get my baby some beans and cornbread. Any last words, Mr. Randolph?
Everybody have a good day. A nice fall day. Enjoy the day. And we'll talk to you next time.
All right. Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Make me a sandwich.
Okay, babe.
I did. I don't know what this is here.
Hold on, babe.